Get this 11 to 1 weekdays on the Triple M network.
Okay, work choices. I don't know much about him, but this bloke in Victoria the other day who was sacked for, quote, operational reasons.
Exactly.
And then replaced by someone willing to do the same job for 25 grand less. What? He took his case to the Industrial Relations Commission, who ruled in favour of the employer, saying that under our new work choice laws, quote, the question of a valid reason need not be considered when an argument is advanced regarding the termination being for operational reasons, unquote.
Exactly.
But what exactly are these operational reasons? To help us answer that, we have on the line David Balsack from the Industrial Relations Commission.
Good morning.
Can I ask, what is your actual job down there?
I can't say.
Why not?
Operational reasons.
Yeah, what exactly are operational reasons?
Well, it's a pretty wide brief. Pretty much any reasons, as long as they're connected with the operation of your business.
Well, let's say I wanted to get rid of Richard Marsland here.
I can understand that. I've seen his acting on Rove.
Yeah, but what say I don't really have any reason to get rid of him, but I have found an orphan in Pakistan who'd be willing to panel the show for $1.50 a week and a bowl of dirt.
This Pakistani bloke, has he ever done that sort of work before?
No, but he does do a very good Mahatma coat.
Yeah, it's hardly a valid reason, is it?
No.
Well then, sack Marsland and hire him.
Well, hang on, I thought you said I needed a valid reason.
No, read that quote again. A valid reason need not be considered when the termination is for an operational reason.
So you don't need a valid reason?
No.
As long as you've got an operational reason?
Correct.
But what's my operational reason?
Well, he's going to do it cheaper, isn't he?
Yeah.
Make it easier to operate your business?
Yeah.
Then that's an operational reason.
But that's not really a valid reason.
Doesn't need to be. You're not listening to me.
But couldn't anything be classified as a operational reason?
As long as it's not valid.
Right. Okay, this bloke the other day, there was no valid reason for him to be sacked.
Thank Christ, if there'd been a valid reason to sack him, they would have had to keep him on. Thankfully, there were operational reasons.
Which were?
In this instance, the company was suffering from, quote, financial difficulties.
Right, what were those difficulties?
There was a lot of difficulty trying to get the bloke to do the same job for 25 grand less.
Right.
I mean, put yourself in the company's shoes. That's incredibly difficult. You've got to convince the bloke his job doesn't exist anymore, even though you're advertising it in the paper the next day. You're saying that's not difficult?
No, clearly is.
You've got to keep it all out of the press. Talk about difficult.
Very difficult.
Make it look like you're not exploiting the legislation.
That's difficult.
Sell the cheaper package to the new bloke.
Endless difficulties.
Endless financial difficulties.
But are these valid reasons?
I should bloody well hope not. Valid reasons need not be considered. Operational reasons. That's what we're looking for.
Now, Joe Hockey says he's going to review this case.
Well, there's no reason to do that.
Sounds like there's lots of reasons.
Valid reasons, sure, but they need not be considered.
Are there operational reasons?
Well, no, because the company's operating far more effectively since they got the cheaper bloke in.
So there won't be any review
That depends.
on?
When the election's scheduled for.
So the government may fine-tune these laws because of
Operational reasons.
David Balsack, it sounds like the Industrial Relations Commission is full of it.
Oh, there's no reason to say that.
Well, that's why I said it.
I've got the world's cheapest gag.
Oh,
if you'd
let's hear it.
You ready, Rich?
Yeah.
Sophie Monk's teeth have launched a solo career.
Okay.
They've been hired to play Mercedes Corby. Here's a cheap joke. Change from $1. Change from $1 with that one.
Plenty of change. You got some more change for $1 there, Mr. Marsden?
Yeah,
How about that footage, that Gallipoli footage? Anzac Day tomorrow, and we're off for tomorrow.
Yep.
We'll be marching. I'm not sure in aid of what.
Yeah.
Victims of Capril, fans of Nick Kershaw. We'll be right at the back. There'll be a little part for us in the parade. Yeah. Have you seen that Gallipoli footage?
Yeah, for some reason a close-up of Nicole Kidman. I can't work out why.
Give yourself some change.
Didn't mean to...
I'll tell you what I was going to say.
Mate, can I just jump in here? I love it when Richard does that. He tells a joke and then a sting and he gives himself a little out. I don't know why you're just going to tail off at the end of that one.
I was going to say, yeah, it's great footage. For some reason, Bill Hunter's in there. There you go. Change for $1.
Beat
My
you to it.
apologies.
Beat you to it.
Sorry, Tony.
The change coming. What about that bloke who tried to run down Steve Vizard? He's been jailed for 6 years for missing him. There you go. Better luck next time. 6 years after his 11-week crime spree. Breaking, entering, burglary.
Good stuff.
He was asked if he'd been involved in insider trading. He said, "What? You leave it alone. I'm not that bad. Come on, steady." Oh, the cheapest jokes on radio. What else have we got? Alexander Downer. Did anyone see that Australia?
What's he up to?
Isn't this the bloke who was complaining that Kevin Rudd is the vainest man he's ever seen? But he was going on, he just loves being on TV, that Kevin Rudd. Just loves being on TV. That's what Alexander Downer said during his half-hour special on the ABC last night.
A two-part special, I might add.
Two-part special.
Yeah.
Two-parter.
Apparently, a film crew followed Mr. Downer and his family for 16 weeks.
Oh.
He's followed, that's almost as long as a Big Brother season.
Wow.
16 weeks followed by a camera crew telling them all the way, Mr. Rudd is the vainest man I've ever met. Check out the stockings. The new Bond film, or the most recent one, Casino Royale, British Airways have airbrushed out the tail fin of all the Virgin planes seen in the airport scene. How's that? Isn't that interesting? But best of all, they've gotten rid of Richard Branson from that movie.
Big improvement.
Because that was the claim, we're going back to the gritty, original Ian Fleming James Bond. Oh, look, celebrity cameo.
Oh.
So, it's probably an improvement.
I agree.
But we're saying, why stop there?
Oh, so why?
What other annoying minor characters, or even major characters, would you like to see excised from your favourite movies? Now, there's a few obvious ones.
Where you going?
Let's get Mickey Rooney out of Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Bang. Let's get Jar Jar Binks out of Star Wars.
Of course.
Out you go, young man.
Remember Mickey Rooney with the comedy Chinese teeth? It was very Mino-Reiki.
Quite bizarre, wasn't it?
It just ruined it.
Yeah.
Look, there's George Pepper from the A-Team, fine.
Oh, yeah.
But Rooney out of the pool. Sophia Coppola in Godfather 3. Remember? She ruined that one.
Excellent.
I say get rid of Mike Preston from Mad Max 2. That's the one weak link. Although every masterpiece needs a flaw.
What was he doing in that?
Oh,
Remind
just
me.
hamming it up. He was the leader of the good guys behind in the white gear.
Yeah, no dice.
No dice.
No dice. Well, theoretically, if we can take people away, we can add them.
Yeah, I think that might make the segment even longer.
Okay.
Other Matthew McConaughey in anything. Absolutely anything.
See,
What, so we can be round at your place?
See, now we're adding. Once we start adding, we'll be here
so
all
that was
day.
you adding. Well, because I reckon just add Rodney Dangerfield to everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Good
Imagine
idea.
Rodney Dangerfield in Babel and Blanchett's giving all the, I'm just going to feel the moment. And he's in the background, hey, what about terrorism?
What do you want from me? No respect.
No respect in this war on terror. No
Okay,
regard. Can't get no regard.
Let's do adding tomorrow. Let's do adding tomorrow when we're not here. Anzac Day tomorrow. What about, it's not a great film, Charlie's Angels. But remember those weird scenes with Tom Green?
Yeah.
Oh, that was weird. The Chad.
Oh, wasn't that annoying?
What about all of Freddy Got Fingered?
No,
Well,
come on.
I know it's often cited as the worst film ever made, but there's a perversity.
about that.
There's a single-mindedness about it. There's a disturbing quality when that bone sticking out of his leg in the skateboard ramp scene. Like, who would put that in a comedy?
There's a clarity of vision.
There's something
which
about
has to
it.
be admired.
There's something about it that's
Yeah.
admirable. It's not a good film though.
Oh, the swinging around the baby by the umbilical cord. I
There you go.
walked out.
Yeah. No, he's got an idea and he's stuck to it. But who else should we remove from films?
I'm a massive fan of Quentin Tarantino, but not on screen.
No, that's true. Although he's
He
good.
was all right in Destiny Turns on the Radio.
He's good in Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, he's great in that.
But from there,
Pulp Fiction. I mean, that whole. I
it's-
mean, someone else could have done. What
Yeah,
about Dusk Till Dawn?
Yeah.
Even that episode of The Golden Girls where he played Elvis. Take him out of that. Great filmmaker, obviously.
Little Nicky
Yeah, Little Nicky.
didn't need to be in there.
Seeing Little Nicky.
Actually, nobody needs to be in Little Nicky.
Okay.
Um,
So this is what we're doing.
yeah.
Give us a call.
Tell us who you want out of your favourite film. It's a great film that you love, but there's just someone there standing up the back spoiling it. Obviously, it could be Tony Martin.
Yes.
There's a few films where that could be the answer. Let's eliminate them right now.
And dovetailed with what films would you like to see Rodney Dangerfield added to? Let's just see.
Okay.
Let's just see what happens. Jared, how are you?
Good, guys. How about yourself?
We're excellent, sir. Who needs to go?
I reckon Casey Affleck out of any Matt Damon or Ben Affleck movie.
Yes!
Yes, because he pops up in a few, doesn't he? What was he in there? Was he in one of the Oceans movies?
He was in Ocean's 11. He popped up in...
Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry.
Yes, Jerry. He's in Good Will Hunting for a minute. Isn't he one of their mates in Good Will Hunting?
He is.
Yeah, quite enough.
What's your problem with Casey Affleck, Jared?
He just can't act.
There you go.
He's just a little bit Frank Stallone, you feel.
Just a little.
Just a little bit Jake Busey. Just a little bit Nicholas Guest.
Quick dovetail for you, Ed.
Yeah?
For your next project, mate, I was looking on the Comedy Festival website and I didn't see a live Passiona High stage show.
Wow. They
What's going on?
knocked it back, Jared. Too edgy. They were scared of what was going to happen,
Not
man.
enough PowerPoints for all the synthesizers. We need a generator to be subbed in.
Hello, Damien. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, guys.
Good. Who needs to go?
Paris Hilton from Cat in the Hat.
Oh, hang on.
What did she do in that? I've never seen it.
She didn't do anything. She did a cameo in a nightclub. We don't need that for our little kiddies.
Cameo
No.
in a nightclub with Paris Hilton.
How did the kiddies react?
They didn't know who she was. And my wife said, what's she doing in that? And it's like, yeah, nothing. Doing what she does best.
No, I'm sure they'll know in a few years' time. And wasn't Alec Baldwin in The Cat in the Hat?
Yeah.
Don't want to see him in the kids' movie.
No, sir.
Next door neighbour. What was he saying to the Cat in the Hat?
You've made me feel like shit.
Yeah.
And you've made me feel like a fool over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think that's
And this crap you pull on me
Yeah,
with
yeah.
this goddamn phone situation.
I mean, at least keep to the rhyming scheme, Alec. If you're going to have a go at someone.
Who else needs to go?
Thanks, Damien. Hey, Scott.
G'day, guys. How you going?
Good, mate. Who needs to go?
I really think they could have zapped Tom Cruise in War of the Worlds.
Oh, yes.
And there's a role for Rodney Dangerfield there, too.
Oh, yes, because, I mean, obviously Tom Cruise's main character, but he was dragging the whole film down.
That's right. But Rodney Dangerfield could confront the aliens, too, and say, hey, you remind me of my mother-in-law.
Martians give me no respect. All
I
right.
wouldn't be able to stand up to that in the face of such wit. Just collapse. Well done, Scott. You know what, though? You know what else Rodney's good for?
Yeah.
Rodney can turn, because he was hiding a radio in his golf bag in Caddyshack, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And in one night, he can get a party going at the drop of a hat.
Certainly can. And put him on 3 diving boards. From 1 to the 2nd to the 3rd. Martians distracted. Problem solved.
Done.
Okay.
Aaron, how are you?
Not too bad.
Who needs to go?
No, I wanted to see Rodney Dangerfield replace someone in a movie.
Yeah.
Gandalf out of Lord of the Rings.
Oh, fantastic. And what would be the best scene in that?
The bit where he's fighting the other wizard on top of the big tower.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just as he's falling, have a big shot where his eyes pop out.
Fantastic. So one wizard is up on the top with the Staff of Doom,
Yes.
and Rodney's just got an open mic.
There you go. And a
Just-
golf club in the other hand.
Just sitting in with 5 of new. New gear. I cannot fight this new material.
And a tartan jacket. Can't argue with that.
I have never seen you so disgusted for so long as yesterday's show when we played all those Big Brother clips. It was just, every break was just, but why would,
It's like getting beaten to death with a sponge.
who would want
You
to?
know, it's slow and relentless, but after a while it starts to take its toll,
What happened last night on Big Brother?
Ricardo, you were watching?
Oh, there was something, they were playing a game called Never Ever.
Oh, yeah.
Dangerous.
I think it's like a getting to know you kind of game. So you
It's
say,
a bragging game.
is that what, right. So it means I've never ever,
Something.
and someone said I've never ever had someone nibble on my ear.
Yeah.
And the guy who's carrying on with the relationship, who's the guy, the 28-year-old firefighter?
Oh, him. He's going to win.
Yeah.
Like they go, I'm just an ordinary bloke. This is me cuddling me dog. I'm normally out saving people all day. That guy.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He decided to crank it up a notch in a very short amount of time.
What did he say?
You know, you got to know how to talk around church people.
What did he
There's certain
say?
Things you don't say. It was all beeped out because it was deemed not fit for broadcast.
But
I-
lip-reading Richard Marsland with the freeze frame.
it had something to do with the Star Spangled Banner in Short Bus.
That's just going to confuse our listeners who are too disgusted to
right.
rent that film.
Can I say a word that we've only said once before in this show? Analingus. Had something to do with that. And
I thought you were going to say, we're running early.
But so thankfully it was beeped out.
How
and I
did
thought,
how did that go down with the rest of
a
them?
few people just went, well, it's time to do the dishes. Bit of an awkward moment.
Oh, they did a test. They got them into the white room. No, the room of the chair. Sorry. The geography of Big Brother is very confusing. I need a map.
I think that's the diary room.
The diary room.
Yeah. But it doesn't have like a pen and paper and a diary. That'd confuse them. It's just got a mirror. There's all the diary I need. So today sorry, what were you saying? Oh, it's me. Today I sat in the pool. Oh, God.
Who was in there? Travis.
Yep.
Or Warnie. Let's just call him
Yeah,
Warnie.
warning. Yeah.
And they threw a challenge at him. Check this out.
Pick the answer which you believe most reflects your personality. Indecisive or decisive?
Indecisive. Decisive. Indecisive.
How appropriate.
Come on, Warnie. Come on, mate.
Decisive.
Of course you are!
Oh, deciso. Eh? Making decisions all day.
Now, the White Room looks half interesting. It looks like someone's come up with the idea of having the people in the Big Brother house watch a smaller version of Big Brother.
Good idea.
On a TV. That was never articulated.
Ah.
But I'm assuming that's what's going to happen.
Who's in there?
They sent the 4 people who didn't get voted in by the
public.
The public. So the
Oh,
4 most annoying people.
Look at that.
They've been locked in the White Room. Sensory deprivation. No communication with the outside world. I mean, that's going to take a psychological toll.
Yeah.
What would be your main concern locked in that room? Here was Kara's. Have a listen.
From tonight, if you choose to remain, you will have no contact with the outside world. How you entertain yourselves will be up to you.
Yep.
You'll be given no more than what you see in front of you now.
Yeah, here we go.
Do we have to keep wearing white?
Do we have to keep wearing white? How am I going to look in this room?
How are my eyes appearing in this white suit?
I know I'm in a Guantanamo Bay style prison, but am I still looking hot?
Look, Camp X-Ray down in Cuba, that's getting emptier every day. Hicks is gone, isn't he? They're releasing people. All the British people have gone. There's got to be some spare rooms there. Hey,
But what am I
that's
going
a
to
good
be
challenge.
wearing? What clothes am I going to wear?
Kara, do you choose to stay or do you choose to leave?
Stay.
You've all made your choice.
Is this all our clothes?
For now,
Oh my god.
that is
Hang on.
Kara dropped the blue just as Big Brother spoke, making it look like he swore. She was accidentally amusing.
Oh, she was. Well, that's her career
But,
sorted.
oh, no, we're not going to be able to talk to anyone. There's, like, nothing to do in here. There's no television.
Nah.
There's no games.
Nah.
There's no spa. There's
Nah.
no sauna. But, oh, what about clothes?
Thanks, big brother.
This can't be all our
We can
clothes.
swap clothes.
Can I like? Oh no, there must be some clothes over
Excellent
there.
prolonged boredom.
Can we have a look through those bags?
What is this?
Oh, please be clothes. Please, can you have more white?
That's yours.
Thank you, sweetie. Oh my god, there's no clothes.
Oh, sick. No, there's clothes.
It's definitely a smarter lot this year. It's definitely a smarter lot. Look, we've done it. We've got him as angry as he was for the whole of yesterday's show. Russell Howard, comedian Russell Howard from the UK. We have to point out.
That's it. I won't talk unless there's applause before me. Thanks very much.
The best quality fake applause on radio. You do your own radio program on BBC 6, it says here.
Yep, we have about 15 loyal listeners. 14 now. One of them's gone.
Ah.
But yeah, no, it's a tiny little station. It's a digital station in England. I'll do it with my
Digital?
mate. Yeah.
So is it only on the internet?
You can get it on the internet or you can get it on like DAB radio.
Does that mean you can just say what you want? No
not-
censorship, no nothing?
Yeah, sort of. We can pretty much do whatever we want. But it means that 15 people either go, oh, that was really great, or that was really bad. It doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? It's just literally, it's quite a tiny little thing.
And what do you do on this show?
Me and my friend John, who's another comedian, John Richardson from England, we kind of bicker pretty much for 3 hours. That's it. And that literally is it. And there's been times we used to live together, so it would literally be a case of halfway through us, I'd pull a song down and he'd go, right, the other day somebody finished my bowl of Rice Krispies. Are we going to discuss that? And so we'd be having an argument and people would text in, you had them, Russell, you had them. So it's a genuine
It's a
little...
nice place to get things off your chest.
Yeah, no, but it really was that. But obviously with that, then you have arguments, and then there are sections of the show where it's just, and just staring at each other like that. And neither wants to give the higher ground.
There you
And
go.
you've got somebody in the background going, well, you should maybe do a show. Yeah, whatever.
The silent treatment's great on radio.
Yeah, no,
though,
exactly.
very pregnant pauses.
Yeah. It's just great. Yeah.
We haven't had the guts to do it, but if you leave a 30-second pause on this station, the emergency tape
That's
kicks in.
right. Yeah.
Do you have that? Do you have the emergency
Yeah,
tape?
but it isn't silence, is it? It's like
No.
"Ooh."
Oh, no.
Otherwise, people get even terrified and they think that you just can't have silence.
Well, they think the world's exploded
Yeah,
around them
yeah.
and that they're the last ones left in
I'd
their
love-
house.
That would be a wonderful prank to play, though, wouldn't it? Just have that silence and now it happens. and just somebody driving along.
So what is it here? It's the Eagles here, isn't it?
Well, in my day, it was the Eagles taking it easy. So you'd be rolling down the road trying to loosen your load. 7 women on your mind. You'd have to leave a 30-second gap to hear it.
There you go.
But, often someone would be locked out of a building. There's always a bit of that.
Oh, yes.
There was, I shouldn't really say his name.
Go on.
It was a bloke known as the Captain on Triple M in the 80s, and he locked something in his car, and then he tried to break back into the building, broke into the wrong building, the building next door. And I think a good 4 minutes of silence went to air. When the figures came in, tested really well.
Love it. Fantastic.
Exactly.
Other stations copying it.
People were loving it.
But, Russell, how did you get into comedy? We've had so many comedians come through from the UK. And, of course, there's a lot more venues. There's a lot more opportunities over there, isn't there, really?
Yeah, there's loads of tiny little gigs. I started in a place called Bristol in a little pub called Le Chateau.
Now, I'm sorry to say this, but we only know the word Bristol from the Benny Hill show.
Oh, really?
Where, of course, it's... what's the word for breast, I'm afraid.
Oh, right.
You
Yeah,
surely
of
would be
course.
familiar with that.
Yeah. I should have figured that out, yeah. I'm from a
That's
little
the
place.
full sum of our knowledge about Bristol in this
Absolutely.
country.
Well, oddly, I'm from a little village called Titties.
There you
That's
go.
even worse.
Fine place.
It's so weird what travels, isn't it? Benny Hill travels.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like Zoo magazine travels. Jaffa cakes don't. You're really
What's a
missing out.
Jaffa cake?
What are we
Jaffa
missing
cake-
out on?
Jaffa cake, my friend, is sort of like an orange, sort of tangy biscuit, and they're beautiful.
Wait a second. I think that we do have them, but they
Alright.
come as part of the Arnott's assorted, and that's and you can't buy them by themselves.
Well, in England, my friend, you can buy them just if you want one, you can have one. If you want 60, you can have 60.
Right. What a place.
Yeah, it's great.
We're so far behind.
Yeah, I know.
But then you've got excellent. What are those Tim Tam things?
Yeah.
they're pretty good, aren't they? Yeah. See, we've got penguins and not as good. There's a lot of product placement going
What's
on.
your-
Is that Richard Branson?
Well, we love a bit of food talk.
Yeah.
You know, we could talk gravy for the whole hour if you like. Gravy? Quite happy to.
If I tell you, that's pretty much what we do as well. Me and my friend John chat food as well. He used to be a chef. So,
Really?
yeah, it's
What's your
great.
favourite, though?
What's my dish of
Yeah,
choice?
if you're really going for food.
If I'm really going for it, I quite like a nice bit of risotto.
Oh, yeah.
Chicken risotto.
Yeah.
And then I'd end that with a bit of a strawberry pavlova.
Jeez.
Discuss.
Yeah. Ed Cavalier has introduced something which we all mocked.
It's a new meal.
Ed Cavalier's bedtime porridge.
Mm.
Porridge just before you go to bed.
You have dinner, Russell, early. Then you have your second dinner.
Obviously.
Then you have a little snack. You know, little,
treat yourself,
little,
right? Yeah,
little
yeah.
something.
Turn the lights down.
It could be an apple.
Yeah, play a bit of Simply Red.
Could be a crunchy. Right, and then
Light a scented candle.
everyone's a winner.
And then bang, out comes the porridge.
And then just before bed, big bowl of porridge.
Really?
Yeah. Let your guts think about it overnight.
That's great. What a fantastic. That should be the advert. Have some porridge. Let your guts think about it overnight. That's fantastic.
But the thing is, we were all mocking me, going, that's ridiculous. And then the letters come in. I
they
tried
come.
it over the weekend. Best night's sleep I've ever had.
Yeah.
Really? Well, I'll give it a go. Apparently, you're supposed to put bananas in your porridge as well.
I do that.
You've never done that?
No, I do every morning. You put them on the bottom.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, really?
So that
Something to work towards.
Yes.
I just don't you love people who think about their food.
No, I do.
It's just great, yeah,
I
yeah.
do.
But you clearly you're not mucking around here. There's
No,
nothing
no.
trivial about this. This is fuel you're taking on board. yeah.
Exactly right. See, I've got half a sandwich left.
Yeah.
Now, during this show, I've already had a sandwich in the first hour, and then a tuna salad just before we went on air, a soup, and now I'm down to my last half sandwich, and I need to time it so that my blood sugar's just right for the end.
All right, we've got 7 more courses to go in this hour. Now, you're performing at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, but then going around the country so that all our listeners can have a look at your gear.
What's Darwin like? I was speaking to Mary earlier, and she said that apparently it's stinger season in Darwin.
Oh, yeah, be careful.
You gotta watch them.
Yeah, it was amazing. She said for 10 months of the year you're not allowed to swim because you might get stung. Is that right?
That's right. Well, there's beaches everywhere, but you can't go to them because there's also crocodiles.
Yeah, that's
at
the
the
other
beach.
Unbelievable.
I thought that film Crocodilus, aka Blood Surf, was made up, but no, crocodiles at the beach.
Documentary. They're always trying to sell you stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Sunscreen.
Fine wine.
Yeah.
But since you've been here, Russell, have you picked up any phraseology or behaviour or customs you could perhaps take back to the UK?
I think I'm slightly more polite than I was when I arrived. Yeah, I'm just really taken aback by the polite nature of this place. It's brilliant. Everyone's hey gang. It's just always talking to you, always saying hello, generally smiling at you. You don't get any of that in England. You literally
No smiles?
No smiles. We've all got teeth we're very ashamed of. But it's just amazing. But what's really intriguing, so you're during the day you just chat, and then you go to a gig and you go, hey, how you going? And people will just stare at you and just kind of, with such politeness, go, no, it's your turn now. So you kind of go, well, no, I don't mind a chat. No, come on.
Because the night I saw you,
Yes.
you were asking questions.
Yes.
And you're right. You were met with, and obviously I didn't pipe up, but you were met with just.
Well, just lunatics. It was really great. The other day I was doing this chat about when sometimes you get the giggles in your head, you can't help it. And I was just telling the story about getting the giggles during my dog's funeral, and I said, has anyone ever had a feeling like this? And this girl in the corner went, "Yeah, I laughed at a funeral once," and I said, "All right, how did that make you feel?" And she went, "Jealous," and I have no idea. I've no idea why she said, and she didn't know either. You know, when
That's
a word,
what I was at.
and it just jumped into her head, and her eyes just went. I don't know why I said jealous. It was just one of those beautiful moments in life when you kind of go, "Are you all right?" Yeah, I just said jealous out loud.
Okay, so polite audiences. How ugly do they get, over your side of the world? I know Leighton Live at Edinburgh.
That's the interesting
ugly.
thing. Well, the hi-fi club that you have here, the Late Guy, is just unbelievably brilliant, and it's everything that Leighton Live should be, because if somebody isn't going very well, people will just stare at them and go, "That's right, there'll be someone who's better along in a minute."
Right.
In Edinburgh, that does not happen.
No, Leighton Live
smash bottles and throw them at them.
Wow. I've seen people come on and get one word out before
absolutely.
just being bombed off the stage. It's like Thunderdome.
Yeah,
Really?
It starts at 1 and goes on till 3, and it's lots of very drunk sort of people who are there. And it's based on this sort of gladiator sort of idea that you heckle the comic. So if someone will shout something at you, and if you say something back and make everyone laugh, then you are the hero.
You're winning.
So, and you are loved so much you can't. But if you fail, my God, you're hate. I saw something. I've compared it the last 3 years, and I saw.
Have you really?
Yeah, I love it.
Wow.
It's brilliant. I saw something really great. This guy, whose name escapes me, but he's very, very funny. He came on and has quite a slow build to his act. And he was just slow, hand clapped and booed off, and people are swearing at him and blah blah blah. So he kind of walked off, tail between his legs, and I sort of went back on and went, "You do realise the end of his act was to put a firework up his arse and sing," and it genuinely was. And
Chris
sing,
Lynham, I think.
Chris Lynham, that's it.
Yeah.
And sing "There's no business like show business," right? Which is, and there's some bloke in the audience actually shouted out, "Well, why didn't he start with it?" And you're like, well, where's he gonna go from there? Do you know what I mean? How are you gonna wander on with a lit firework through that and then go, "Hey, what's with the women in the shoes, eh?" What? They're just, and the shopping trolley, it's a little bit wonky. It was an unbelievably brilliant heckle.
I was in Edinburgh in '91, which was the year after Chris Lynam had unveiled the firecracker up the arse routine.
Right, wow.
And the trouble is, what do you come back with the next year?
Well, that's it, yeah.
And there was just rank disappointment hanging in the air. People like the show wasn't being received very well, but you could see people go, "He's got to have a big ending."
Yeah, those pants look loose.
Where's
There's gonna be something
the
up there.
firecracker going to be there? How much dynamite is he going to have up the back passage this year? And he just ended with a poem.
Yeah.
And people just shuffled in embarrassment from the venue.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was going to be guts splattered everywhere. It's just a poem.
You know who they need in that Big Brother house to mix things up a bit, because now the cruise is out of the picture? Bill Heffernan. Get Senator Heffernan.
He's a good bloke.
He was dropping some great quotes the week we were off. What about this one? It's a bit fruity.
You vote for him, don't you, Rich?
Yeah, I love Heffernan. A personal friend of mine.
A friend of Hef's?
It's me, the PM, Heffo, Hasselhef, as I call him.
That's good.
We form the triumvirate every Sunday night.
That looks amazing.
This is a very fruity quote, but it is from an elected senator
Here we go.
of Australia. Senator Heffernan repeated his observation recently that priests should be allowed to marry because they, quote, like the rest of us, wake up with a horn at 4 a.m.
Very true.
Now, has he checked that? I mean, is that anecdotal evidence?
Yeah, he spent a lot of money on research in his early years, I think. He took it upon himself to just really find out.
4 a.m, a priest. Who's that out there? It's me, Heffernan. I'm just checking.
It's all right.
Just want to see if there's any going on in here. Rising on the third day, presumably. What about that game, though? I mean, it's taken off ever since
Everywhere you go.
Hef's comments. Everyone's playing it.
It's time to play the game that's taking Canberra by storm. It's time to play Heffernan or Hilali. Here we go, Mr. Howard. Are you ready? Yes. I have a series of statements in front of me, some of them made by your close personal friend, Senator Bill Heffernan. Wonderful man. Some of them by controversial Muslim cleric Sheikh Al-Hilali. Boo! Are you ready? Fire away. Statement number 1. Women are inferior to men and should stay in the kitchen where they belong. Oh, look, I don't know why the Islamic community don't just turf this disgraceful so-called mufti out on his head. That was actually Senator Heffernan. Look, Bill's a straight shooter. Sometimes he perhaps chooses his words carelessly, but he's merely presenting one view. Not everyone has to agree with it. Statement number 2. homosexuals are an inferior breed and should not be allowed to hold positions of power. Oh, like I say, we live in a free society. Now, not everyone will agree with the Senator's views, but I, for one, will defend his right... that was actually Sheikh Al-Hilali speaking. Oh, look, if he doesn't like it here, he should leave the country. Those comments are disgusting. Statement number 3. We simply have too many Asians in this country. They're in danger of taking over. Oh, gee, it may have been Sheikh Hilali. Appalling, disgraceful, inflammatory comments clearly designed to stir up trouble. Or it may have been Senator Heffernan. Harsh, certainly, but reflective of a view held by many mainstream Australians. Well, is it Heffernan or Hilali? It's too hard to call. The comment is both inexcusable and understandable. Well, it was in fact a trick question. Those words were actually spoken last night by Kerry O'Brien. Disgraceful, appalling. And he was, of course, quoting Pauline Hanson. Oh, look, people may not agree with Pauline, but I think it's healthy we debate these issues. Statement number 4. Someone was responsible for the Cronulla riots, and it certainly wasn't white people. Oh, well, it doesn't sound like either of them. Is this another curveball? No, it's definitely one or the other. Which is it? Heffernan or Hilali? Well, obviously the Sheikh wouldn't say that. I guess in this instance, Bill is simply reflecting what a lot of people out there are thinking. No, unlikely as it may seem, those words were spoken last week by Sheikh Al-Hilali at Lakemba Mosque. Deport him, he's an animal. The Sheikh was quoting directly from the Alan Jones program. A wonderful program. Alan simply expresses what so many are frightened to say in our politically correct society. Jones was there reading out words rather uncharacteristically spoken by Australian of the Year, Tim Flannery. Appalling sentiments, he should be stripped of his title. But Flannery was in fact reporting a quote expressed to him by Senator Ross Lightfoot. Well, sometimes it's important for unfashionable, even distasteful views to be brought to the table. Lightfoot himself was reading a transcript from last week's 7:30 report. Propaganda, filth, lies, where the words were spoken by right-wing commentator Janet Albrechtsen. Thoughtful, reasoned, decent. And finally, statement number 5. There is no such thing as global warming. It's a lot of leftist hocus-pocus straight out of Noddyland. That person must be feeling pretty foolish now. It was me, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Could you have them bring the car round? Join us next time when we play Howard, genius, Hanson, misunderstood, Heffernan, top bloke, or Hilali, Antichrist, from the makers of What's Under Laurie Oakes. It's been too long since we played What's Under Laurie Oakes.
I'll tell you what's good, and this is specific to one footy code, but whenever there's an AFL footy game on, you can select which team you want to watch. And last night, Richmond, the team, were playing
my team.
Geelong. I don't want to talk sport, but it was one of the biggest ever margins between two teams. Like Geelong were like 110 points in front.
Yeah. Right.
So I thought for half-time, let's just go and check out what's going on in the dressing room in Richmond.
And?
Basically just drinking Hemlock Gatorade. For half-time, it was the most depressed group of individuals you've ever seen.
What do you mean you can follow one team? What does that mean?
You can actually pick which team you'd like to watch at half-time. So you have like 9 different, camera angles.
And if you put eagles, what happens there? Is the footage is all blanked out?
Just cuts to a nightclub.
Lots of beeping.
Some guy hanging on to the bonnet of a cab, like Grindhouse.
I haven't got the Grindhouse. How's that? Sports to nerd topics in one sentence.
Done.
Is that coming out as 2 films here?
That's what I've heard.
Tarantino and Rodriguez.
And I also heard that Miramax was spacing out the film, so they're releasing one, and then they're waiting another few months before releasing the next one.
Yeah.
So basically what you do is you watch the first part of Grindhouse, then you watch Kill Bill 2. That'll take a few months, and then you watch the second part of Grindhouse.
You give yourself some change for that one, Rich.
So many films that could do with a reel missing.
Oh, yeah.
That new Spider-Man, that could do with several reels missing.
What is going on?
I went outside, did some banking, went and watched another film, came back, still going. That sand bloke is still getting bigger.
So wispy.
Why did he get big at the end?
I don't know. There's a lot more sand around.
Why did that black stuff arrive and target Peter Parker out of everyone in the world? Why did the black stuff go back to Peter Parker's house and sit around doing nothing for 3 days?
Yeah,
just watching telly while he was out?
I think it went saw the Empire State Building, then it saw the Statue of Liberty, then it caught a few subways. It just wanted to get the New York experience before it started killing folks.
Why did the evil photographer suddenly become religious and go to church?
Oh, yeah.
The same church that the Spider-Man happened to be in the roof of.
Oh, yeah.
So many questions.
I haven't
in that
seen it.
new Spider-Man.
Yeah, right now that I think about it.
So many.
I'm going to have to change my blog about Spider-Man 3.
Like, why do none of Peter Parker's neighbours notice Spider-Man leaping out the window all the time?
So true.
I just go, gee, that Spider-Man spends a lot of time around at Peter Parker's house.
They must know each other.
We're back on, guys.
Oh, we're back on. It's Get This on Triple M. You know, here are the words you don't want
And how much... Like, if you're playing Spider-Man, right? Tobey Maguire's playing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You don't. It's all it is. It's like doing like a melodrama. You've got to do all the "I love you" stuff on the bridges, which got huge laughs when I saw it.
Brought the house down.
Killed. But then all of the action stuff, it's just CGI, and clearly CGI.
Well, okay, but it was quite enjoyable when Dr. Octopus was involved. I was a big fan of Alfred Molina.
And Defoe kept it real in the first one.
Well, except when he had that ridiculous plastic mask on and attacked that Macy Gray concert. And those people were hanging off that really dodgy-looking balcony that was clearly in a studio.
But I loved it that he'd gone for Macy Gray. I like to think that there were other concerts there, and he's gone, no, I'm not going to leave them. I might leave the Strokes alone. Death Cab for Cutie, that's fine. Macy Gray, let's go.
All right. We're back on. Here are the words you don't want to hear just before you go to air on a national radio program. I don't know how this is going to go, Tone. That's what he'd said to me. What is it? What are you talking about? I've been out of the room.
Well, listen to this, Tone.
Yeah, okay. Got that.
Naked man gets superglued to exercise bike.
Yep.
A gang in South Africa stripped a man before supergluing him to an exercise bike while they ransacked his house.
Gotcha.
And we have got some.
We?
Now I have procured some exclusive audio of this very event.
Yep.
And let's cross to Africa now. No.
Okay.
Let's cross to South Africa now. All right. I'm going.
It's the Nissan Navara.
Sure, you animals. I'm trying to ransack. Right, I'm going to kick the door in. Oh, this house looks like it's got lots of money in it. I'm going to kick the door in. Right. It was open.
That's quite a polite kick.
It's open. Who's that talking to me? Listen, you there, man.
Hey, what are you doing in my house?
Yes, give me all your money.
Oh, but I'm just a lowly peasant. I don't have anything at all.
You've got lots of rand. Look at you.
I have no rand.
You have tons of rand and digital televisions. Give them to me.
I can't.
Right, that's it, you. On the exercise bike.
Oh, okay. What about the...
Oh, take your clothes off. Firstly.
Thank you. I'll take my clothes off.
You're wearing a one-piece jumpsuit. How convenient. Right, now, you going to stay on that bike?
Sure.
No, you're lying.
No, I don't. What are you doing?
I'm going to have to glue you to it.
Oh, there we are. This seems unorthodox.
No, you stay there.
This isn't a regular kind of...
ransack your house. Ransack your house.
Shuffling your papers.
And I've got all your rand, and I'm off. All right, so you don't even think about trying to drag yourself off that exercise.
Can I get off the bike now?
No. Yes.
Oh, me plums!
The Logies, were you watching that last night?
I got through about 10 minutes.
That opening bit, the red carpet bit, that just gets longer and more painful and gayer every time, doesn't it?
I didn't see.
You need a red carpet makeover.
Oh, dear.
Richard, have you had a red carpet makeover?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can't you tell?
Nice.
the motif of the Logies apparently was... Did I hear this correctly? Yeah. Andy Warhol meets pop culture.
Which is incredible.
Didn't Andy Warhol kind of create the pop
quite
art?
Incredible.
Yeah, that's like Nissan Navara meets cars.
Yeah, well, incredible meeting. Amazing.
What are we going to talk about today, though?
Well, the one thing I did see in the Logies this morning, Rich came in and he was looking through the paper.
Yeah.
And he picks it up and goes, "Oh, forehead, look at that." I said, "Richard, isn't that the one of the 16-year-olds off Neighbours?" To which he responded, "They shouldn't be printing
I can
pictures
confirm.
like that."
It wasn't a 4.
It was a core.
It was a very measured. Does anyone know who Caitlin Stacey is? And I'd seen that photo too.
Does she look like she'd press charges for stalking, do you think? Restraining orders. Do you reckon she knows what they are?
She's wearing a restraining order.
Oh, bang.
I don't know. What sort of action did you guys see? It all looked a bit too slick and too professional. There wasn't enough drunken behaviour. The hosts weren't bad enough for this program.
Very true.
Not a lot of material for Get This.
And this morning, I was watching the Today Show on Sunrise, and it's just endless. So across now to Stevie Jacobs, who's doing the weather. Bit under the weather, aren't you, mate? I saw you on the dance floor with McLeod's boys. So it's like a competition. That's not drunk. If you've got to do the weather lying in a pool of your own vomit from the gutter, that's drunk. That's you got hammered. And Stevie Jacobs was doing the weather this morning from inside the Yarra, dressed as a duck. What? Where am I?
Oh, but current affairs.
Now that's drunk.
Current affairs, I love it when they pit tragic stories against each other to win a fabulous prize. And Sideshow Mike in our production department sent us this hilarious clip from the Logies.
And the Logie goes to sexual abuse in Aboriginal communities.
All right.
Let's give it up for sexual abuse in remote Aboriginal communities. Put your hands up in the air.
Get this, it's blown out to 2 hours, 11 to 1 weekdays on the Triple M network.